with some of the ladies that I've met throughout past couple of years actually. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let's meet up after this and then schedule, because I'll be back January 11th, and I have a very like 1 or 2 weeks, and then I'll go back again to watch the Super Bowl in Cabo with my husband, and then come back again in February 18 or something like that. Okay, we can start.
We're ready. We got all the technical things out.
All right, 3, 2, 1. How exciting! Kicking off the new year, the new you, the new everything. We are relaunching inspiring episode of We Talk. That is woman empowerment backed by popular demand. Happy to be here with you all, and certainly we can learn a lot from some of these journeys. This fascinating woman, I've got really an incredible, she's very beautiful woman that I will be a guest speaker today. So I will introduce you to her. One of the our goal is to inspire, collaborate, not compete with other women out there listening. So let's keep it here for the next 40-50 minutes. Yes, grab your warm coffee latte and sit tight. I am so excited, you can tell, right? 2018 was the year of women. Indeed, women have strutted a long way. Ladies, that's very important. There are plenty of women-driven moments that we know of worth celebrating back in 2018. Olympic sports, red carpet, Oscars to Congress. Yes, Congress even. Women leaving a stalwart trace of power in closing the year last year strong. Now here's some data that I want to share with you all. More than 11.6 million firms are owned by women, employing nearly 9 million people, generating 1.7 trillion in sales. The number of women-owned firms in the United States expected to grow. That's important. With 49.6% of total world's population of women, we continue to be the guiding forces committed to shining a light on empowering female role models in an effort to inspire more women leaders. Yes, we do hear the same issues and challenges women have been facing all the time for centuries now, namely closing the gap, leadership roles, income inequality, many other social issues, just to name a few. More women are embracing new changes and social trends. Women feel more confident, comfortable, and are willing to speak up, speak out, letting their voices be heard in issues that matter most to all of us. More issues than some continue to be notoriously politicized, unfortunately. So we decided to keep going this year. This is a new year, 2019. There's much more greater awareness of women in business, we know that, across the world, globally, making their voices to be heard in many ways. Women as guiding force of principles and purpose. Enough said about that, what we can do, right? Now, I'm so super excited about this woman, Rachel Brooks. She's going to be out here speaking about her journey. We practice self-awareness, seeking inward of our innate power with purpose and passion. We know we can achieve great things together, right? So without so talking about confidence, I am super excited to join in with the special guest, as I said, beautiful Rachel Brooks. Before I introduce you, before she comes out here, I don't know if you guys can see her, but here she is. Good morning. Thank you for being here, Rachel.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure just to meet you and get to know you a bit more. And I'm just super excited for this journey that you've set out for the whole women's empowerment. That's something that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm super excited to be a part of it. So thank you.
We are in this together. We are all in this together, right? It's the theme is collaboration, not compete. And I want to say, collaboration defeats compete, I should say. Now, she is a fitness and lifestyle coach. She is just awesome, amazing woman. The more that I talk with her, I mean, it's just amazing what she does, or what she has done also throughout her journey. She's a writer, an author, self-love advocate. She's the founder of I Am Athletics, a line of athletics apparel and accessories with an important message: let go of your limiting beliefs and redefine who you are. Create your own story. After a lifetime of living in extremes, from body dysmorphia to eating disorders to self-esteem issues, she has overcome her struggles by creating a balanced health and fitness lifestyle of mind, body, and soul. Through experiences of her own, she gives back and hopes to inspire, encourage, and empower others to embrace life with passion and purpose. She specializes in helping professional women become their best selves through the practice of creating a positive mindset and a soul filled with self-love. That is so cool. Very so. All of us need that, right? Self-acceptance, gratitude, and forgiveness. I'm into that. She helps cut through the health and fitness overwhelm or noise with flexible dieting and customized strength training routines so they can create a healthy and sustainable lifestyle. This is also true. I want to congratulate her for this because this is a really, really, really a milestone for her too. She's in the final stages of her fitness memoir. Her book is coming out, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our show, We Talk. Rachel Brooks, go ahead. You have come a long way, my dear. Congrats to many of your personal and professional accomplishments. We women love to celebrate our wins, right? So First off, Rachel, you know that. Share with us a little bit about your background and why you chose this profession or career. We understand fitness was your byproduct of the journey, was part of that journey. So tell us why this is so important to you.
Well, first and foremost, fitness it's one of the top values that I have, and that was something that it stemmed from my background. And that was through the body dysmorphia, the eating disorders, this low self-esteem, and so on. And I used fitness as a way to try to manipulate my body to get to where I wanted it to be. When I would see the fitness girls in the cover magazines and everything, and that was something that I was desperately seeking after because I was so caught up in what my external perspective of myself was. So I used fitness as a means to an end to get the end result and not really embrace the process of it. So throughout my life and the struggles that I had gone through, fitness was kind of that crutch, but I was using it in the wrong way. So having that and the experiences, and now realizing that I would approach the entire process the wrong way, I've learned over my time, it's just everything I did wrong, I learned the right way to do it. And along the process, throughout the process, I learned it just made me feel better. And so fitness, just moving my body, strength training.
You were trying to find yourself in the journey, throughout the journey. You were trying to process, it's what I call, if I may, process of elimination, finding yourself. So you were trying to eliminate some of those things like, I'm not here, I'm not that, but here I am now. I am. Look at you. I am. Now.
That's kind of how this entire line had stemmed was through the empowerment that came through finding yourself along the way. And I used that fitness avenue to help catapult into where I'm at. So, I talk about this in my book, and where fitness broke me, but it also saved me. And that was such a pivotal moment when I realized that there was a big disconnect between external, seeking the external body or self-image.
Exactly. Validation, because the society does not looking at you like, hey, am I being accepted? Am I being judged? And that's normal though, right? Everybody goes through that, right?
It is. But when you take it to the extremes and it becomes your constant thoughts and an obsessive compulsive, and that's kind of where the body dysmorphia comes in, where you're seeing yourself as flawed all the time, constantly comparing. And I know that you talk about the competition, and that's when it becomes so over the top that you feel like you're grasping for straws just to get to where you think you need to be, because in your mind you're far from it. You're much bigger than you appear. You're obsessing over the foods you're eating because it's not working in the way for you to love and appreciate your body. And so we're creating this damage that we're doing. And through my life experiences, I was just in such a broken place. And I used fitness as well as a fitness competition, to try to seek that perfection and the validation. And when I was stepped on stage as a fitness competitor, I was so broken. My mindset was just not even, mind and body were just hugely disconnected. And I stepped on stage thinking that if I had done everything to a T, followed the diet, the training, the whole everything, and I had the perfect body and the perfect hair and the perfect makeup and the perfect suit and perfect everything, this is all I wanted, was perfection, that those judges would then tell me I was good enough, that I had value, that I had worth. Wow. And I was everything that was inside, I was externally giving power to every and anything, because I didn't understand that I had that everything had to come through me. And so when I had a huge competition, that's when I actually found myself in this deep hole internally. And the only way to get out was to do the work. And so fitness became an outlet in a way for me to express my body in a way that was self-loving and not self-abusing. And so I talk about the whole journey in my book, and taking you back through the fears and the lies and the secret, all this stuff that I had to uncover and take it all out, and then start filling it back with the things that inspired me or encouraged me and empowered me. And that's the same mantra that I teach with my clients. That's what I teach in my book. It's just everything that embodies me, because it's so empowering to know that we are the creators of our own story, that we don't have to rely on what society or our peers or family or whoever it is dictate what we should and shouldn't do.
You're the author of your own book, of your own. You're the writer, the author of the book that you write. Exactly, the architect of your life, basically, right? So take us back a little bit. I know that you've already shared that when you first on the stage and everything, but it must really feel very, very extremely, I don't know, dark and fear and all that mix everything, right? Now you've been to that rut and then you pull yourself out, right? So maintaining that resilience of emotional, psychological, and then all the body, psychological, and all of these things. Take us back to that. I mean, what you experienced a pivot, right? So you are now at the correct place because you feel good about yourself. You feel happy. You find that perfect happiness. This is where I am now. I am who I am, right? Yeah. Self-love, self-care, self-awareness. So share with us with that.
Well, I think the biggest disconnect, like I stated before, was my mind and body just weren't even on the same playing field. Everything was what I would see myself through. My perception of self was visual, and I would believe all that chatter and of my inner critic, that negative self-talk. And when that chatter would arise, I would look for proof. And so when I would see something, I'd say, yep, see, that's why this, and it was just filled with such a negative state. And so during the whole process of this competition, as well as just my life prior to that, is that what I thought I became. So all of my negative thoughts, I was finding this proof to validate why I was such a loser or a failure or whatever name I wanted to call myself at that moment. Yeah. And I went to some pretty dark places, and I did not have any nice words to say about myself. I was so just broken in heart, like heartbroken as well. So there was, again, having that self-awareness. So I was unaware of my self-aware. And when I got set back due to an injury for my fitness competition, it basically forced me to reassess my life. And it took a couple years to even get that. So I was sitting in this pit of despair, and I started questioning why is this happening to me? Why? And it was like this woe is me victim mentality. My life.
Why me? Right.
I just had this amazing bikini body, and now I'm like this overweight loser. And it was just, this was the inner dialogue. So when I sat in this pit, I just realized okay, well, clearly what I'm doing is not working because it's got me this far and I'm like bottom, bottom. So what can change? Okay, how about if I have, well, one, I needed to have become aware. So having that recognition that something needed to change was kind of the spark of self-awareness. And I was like, okay, well, if I need to change, what can I change? And I realized that everything I was doing on my own, I was failing at. So I started seeking elsewhere for help, not validation. There was a
Seeking
shift.
inward.
There was
Right.
shift.
So you started seeking the inward within yourself.
Yes. And so instead of what can I do to fix, it was what can I do that would help in the situation. And my first, other than having self-awareness, was surrendering and asking for help. And that was a big step because I always thought that I had control, that I was I would get there. I don't need help. I had this big, I don't even want to call it an ego, but it was an ego. And I didn't even understand that my ego was in my way. So I had to, again, surrender and ask for help. And that was a huge, bold move. So and it doesn't even mean that I was asking like a person for help yet, but I started looking into like personal development. Everything I was
Humility. You went through the humility process.
Yes.
Got it. Humility,
So,
right.
exactly. Watching YouTube videos, reading personal development books, started attending my church. Then I started hanging out with people that were also inspiring. So everything that was holding me back, and of course I lived in extremes. So I was trying the opposite of extremes. So what wasn't serving me, I just went complete opposite. I'm like, okay, well, if this person isn't helping me, I need to find somebody who can help me. And so again, bringing the pendulum, swinging it to the other end of the extremes, I learned what didn't work in the past and picked and choose what was able to work for me then. And it helped create this lifestyle of like balance and moderation. And so that's something where I've incorporated into like my fitness routines, my diet, everything I do now is just about balance and moderation. And it creates that flexibility where you just don't feel so rigid and stuck in extreme ways. Because when we live in extremes, it's all or nothing approach. And everything we're doing is like, we have to get here. And it doesn't matter how we do this. We're just going to do this. And it's like that kind of way of thinking, the black and white way of thinking. And it's just, it was so freeing when I was able to recognize that. And then it brought me into the self-awareness. And then the words that I would use, I realized, oh, wait, those words they're pretty negative. Maybe I could shift this and start reframing my self-talk. And not only my self-talk, but how it would speak to others. And when you start doing the inner work, it radiates through you. And that I actually was seeing that, and seeing was the visual confirmation and validation that now I'm living a life that is better serving me. So I mean, that's kind of that in a nutshell. But having that sense of awareness was the big lacking key that was lacking in my life prior to all this.
We're all humans, with emotional connection. We're all counterintuitive, I should say, and insightful. And then that's what you had shown and demonstrated. Now, going back to your fitness as well, Rachel, is that fitness mentality. You have that fitness mentality. What does it take to go to the gym? I mean, you gotta show up every day, right, to get into that kind of result. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, especially guys, I don't know. I mean, I've seen her pictures on the internet and I go, wow. And you tell yourself, well, I'm not good enough. Is she kidding me? I mean, I was saying that. I would love to have that, but what my point is that it requires a lot of discipline, mentality, for that kind of result. I know there you are drinking your very healthy water while I'm doing, what the
I had the coffee earlier.
I know. It's like, don't tell me, Nikki, what's in there. It's like latte with a lot of foo-foo stuff. No cream, though. No whipped cream. But still, matcha? Yeah, right. Yeah, the green matcha part is okay, but the latte part is not. But anyway, going back to this fitness mentality, wouldn't you agree with me? Because my son is a very athletic, very fitness, really going to the gym. I mean, have to go to the gym every single day. If anything, twice a day would do too. That's a lot, I mean, it's a self-discipline by itself So the kind of life that you had created yourself, I would say you're a little bit hard on yourself sometimes.
Mhm.
But then again, you found that out through the process of self. Part of it is self-awareness, seeking inward to yourself. You said, wow, I have to become loving to myself. And I think that's what you had found throughout your journey.
Absolutely. And I think that was, if we had these habits and behaviors of beating ourselves down, well, recognizing that we have the power, we can also choose to speak words
Yes,
of love and do the complete opposite. So
the complete opposite. Exactly.
exactly. And that was something, just kind of understanding, my ways aren't serving me. So what doesn't serve me, I must let go. And that was, I just looking at my life and stepping back and saying, okay, you try on something. Okay, well, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't, it's not, I'm not comfortable with it. Okay, no problem. You scrap it, you move on. And that's kind of the same thing, is that there is no overnight change. And this is always a continuation of like self journey. There's,
Yeah,
I'll look in the mirror and I will just cut on myself. But the difference between the old me and new me is that, again, self-awareness. I recognized it and I said, you know what, I just don't have time for that. That's crap. I'm not going to believe it.
right.
And so I could easily give that voice the attention that is trying to, get inside my mind.
Right.
We all have this inner critic, and it's the worst. I mean, it's filled with negative chatter. We can have a million thoughts go through our mind a day, and it's like, which ones do we choose to pay attention to? Well, again, it goes back to,
Exactly.
if it's not serving you,
Right.
you don't pay attention to it. So we can easily
Right.
shift that. So if I have a day where it's just cutting on me and I'm just like, oh my gosh, and I could kind of feel my body slumping because I'm given to it. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, I have the power. I have the power. That's the same voice that's in my head. And if I could just choose better language to myself, that's the direction I'm going to go. And so when you talk about creating a lifestyle of this, it's recognizing your behaviors and patterns and then finding ways that serve you. So going into the gym, I'm all about now everything is just balance and moderation. There is no, go to the gym every single day. You got to grind it. I'm there for hours on end. Honestly, I train 4 days a week for strength training, and I'm there in and out, 60 to 75 minutes. And that's it. I don't beat myself up, and it's all about the moderation. So for me, my lifestyle is like I said, balance and moderation. I take an 80-20 approach to almost everything. I mean, if I went 100% all the time, I'm going to hit a wall. I'm going to burn out, and then I'm going to,
Exactly. That's the next question. Right.
Yeah.
That's the next point that I was going to highlight too. Now, look at it from the different perspective. Isn't that how the military style is too? I mean, you wonder why the year 18 years of age, being drafted way back, how the military, kids have to go to the military, drafted and everything, because they try to reboot themselves and then reshape to the way it's, they gotta have to look boot camp for 2 months.
Yeah. I don't know personally much about the military training.
Think about that.
But
okay, you got frozen.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah. So I just don't know much about the military training, but I just know that when you have a rigid and extreme lifestyle and you don't incorporate flexibility, you're bound to either rebound or burn out. Exactly. And then when you burn
physically
out,
or emotionally and all of that.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's in the pendulum. So when you try to sit kind of in the middle, we sway.
Moderation.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So this is great. I mean, you're just so empowering. I need to go back to the gym again, I mean, you're still so young. You still have all of those flexibilities and joints, and I'm, going to the gym and I'm going to, is that my knees are screaming, say no, hell no.
Well, it took a lot to get back into the gym, especially after my setback with my injury. I had actually ruptured my disc, so I had to have microdiscectomy surgery, and it just limited me, and especially having some hereditary disc joint herniation, osteoarthritis.
Right?
So yeah, I mean, even though I may look younger than I am, but I mean, my body is just, it's about conditioning and strength training. It helps just improve. I mean, I'm building the muscles that help help my bones. And, strength training in general, lifting weights is so important for women to do. And we're afraid of that. We fear the weight because we think, we kind of give into the myths and beliefs that have been passed down for many, many years about strength training in general. Women will get bulky if they lift weights. And, for me personally, I'm very petite and I'm very strong, and I don't even look like I lift in my everyday clothes. So
Right.
I'm not walking around looking like a man. Yeah.
I'm also small petite to myself, and it's like, oh my gosh, and people, and then when they see me doing stuff, like heavy, I mean, I don't probably, I'm not like you. I mean, oh my gosh, I mean, you can lift weight, and my 22-year-old as well, but I can do certain things, and people go, oh my gosh, you can do that. Now, let me ask you this. It sounds like it is a passion to you, right? All of these things that become a career with you, becomes a money-making career. Share with us how, you can convert that into this kind of thing, because obviously, we all believe that money is a byproduct of what we do in life and everything. So share with us with your perspective in that.
Well, yeah, I mean, money is a vehicle to do what you want to do. And for me, doing what I do is my passion. So it's just, it's great that when you're able to tap into what you love and you're passionate about and have that monetary compensation as well. It's just amazing. Right. And, when you find, throughout my experiences, I found that so many other women struggle and go through what I had gone through. And it was just so tough because I know how it feels. I could sit in the pain of that person and just really feel, the compassion for them. And so for me personally, I just hate it when I see somebody suffer, because if I have the answers or a way out that had worked for me, doesn't mean that it's 100% going to work for you, but at least I can offer some sort of service. Let me help you. I've been there. Let me just show you a way that had worked for me. And maybe you kind of adapt that style, or maybe you don't. And again, if it doesn't serve you, it does, let it go.
So go ahead.
No, well, just going on to just my expertise in what I do as a fitness and a lifestyle coach I lived over here and I'm over here. So this is where, I'm so much happy, and I feel like this is where people are trying to get, but they're kind of stuck in the how-to, and they just don't really have the support. And sometimes women just really, they feel alone because of they've done, the abuse, the shame, the guilt, the burden that they carry. It's almost like they don't even want to talk about it, and nobody would understand. And it's like, I understand from my own personal experiences. Now I don't live your life and you don't live mine, but we're all human and we all have the same wants, needs, and desires.
Well, what are your personal advices to other women out there? I know that, I'm just getting into the little bit more details in regards to your journey to success, simply following your passion to become your purpose in life. I think that's a big deal, that women are listening out there and then trying to find similarities, like you just said earlier. It's like, you're not alone. We're all together. We've been there. I've been there. I've been through the trenches. I just managed to, like myself, the how-tos you said, right? We don't want to hear the what. We do want to hear the whys, but we don't want to focus so much on that because we want to find solutions. After all, women are solutions makers, right? We try to find solutions rather than staying in the how, the asking the why me, why is this? You can certainly stay there for a while, but then, let's find solutions together. So what are your personal advices to other women out there listening?
Well,
in regards to journey to success?
Yeah, I think for me, and the advice would be something similar to what I had to go through. And when I was in that pit, I would constantly ask myself, who am I? What's holding me back, and why? And so it helped kind of declutter the beliefs and the lies, myths, and the stories and all the stuff that we carry and we incorporate. And we realized maybe that wasn't even something that you valued or believed, but somehow you just kind of accepted it. And so when you question who you are, and it's so important, the power of identity, questioning who you are, and that's kind of gives you that focal point of where, who I am. Okay. And then where do you want to be, kind of thing, this is, I want to see myself, you imagine a better life for you. And okay, what's holding me back? All this baggage, weight, this extremes. And then why? So when you have your
Right.
why and you just keep funneling down, and I talk about this in my book as well, it's called, in my terms, it was called mind funneling, because we get all the way down to the root. And then we figure out, okay, well, if we're at the root, now we can address the issue at hand. So we try to look for
Yeah.
band-aids and like quick fixes. And, so having a why is like focal. So that is your purpose as to why you want to do anything in life. And for me personally, it was walking in my faith, taking that further as well, because everything was through growth for personal, professional, and spiritual growth. And when I realized everything I was going through, it wasn't about the victim and me being the victim. It wasn't about, life is happening to me, but I realized life was happening for me. And so along this walk and this journey, I found my purpose, but also my passion. And so how you can marry those two is something that becomes organic.
Only you can. Yeah. Only you can. Like you said, the word is organic. Only you know how to do it.
Yeah. And is my way the correct way? I have no idea. It worked for me. So this is what, and I'm also about the whole one size does not fit all. And I'm especially fitness.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, what works for me will not work for you. And that goes for life as well. So, but only I can offer what has worked for me based off of my personal life experiences. And so that's just what I share because I'm passionate about it.
Right. Here's a lot of, I've been surrounded by a lot of women as well, because I'm heading up these organizations, networking as well. I always share this thought, right, as a great reminder, not to mention that after all, we women are the living species responsible to bring in the humanity for the next generation on the planet. Isn't that the truth?
Yes, it is.
So we have the power.
We
so if we're going to down, exactly, we hold the key, right? So right, exactly. It's like, it's not going to be a running bunch of men that out there that are going to have, next generation, wouldn't it? It has to have women around them. I mean, this is as silly as I bring it up, but it's a great reminder. Say, hey, you cannot let yourself down, because we have responsibilities here. We have a personal responsibility, social responsibility, judicial responsibility to live on this planet on Earth.
Yes.
As a woman, right? I mean, we juggle so many different roles every single day. Sometimes we get overwhelmed. That's the reason why we do this kind of things, to collaborate, to collaborate with one another, like-minded women out there. One size fits all? No. The success, the failures, the everything, the journey. That's the reason why we share these things, the journeys, the stories, how we become, how we went through it, and how the whys, how we come up with this, how we can have the ability to pull ourselves out of the rut, going through the trenches. So that's just a great reminder. I mean, a lot of us need to be reminded. I myself too sometimes, like, oh my gosh, So that's the reason why we're here. Great what do you call this session today, by the way. I thank you for that, and hopefully the ladies that are listening out there will can convey or resonate with your story.
Yes, I hope so too. And just in general, through my journey, I always just felt so isolated and so alone that nobody could understand me. And that's something throughout the whole process, is that the more I opened up and the more I learned and the more I connected, I realized I'm so not alone. And that's a big takeaway message for women out there, is that you're not alone. No matter what you're going through, somebody has experienced something very similar and can relate. And women, we're looking for that. We're looking for that commonality, that you get me. And we do, because we're all women.
Yeah.
Again, but most importantly, we're all humans. Again, same wants, needs, and desires. And that's just, we want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be understood. And that's where with women in general, we have this community, this women's empowerment, that we rise together, we grow together, we thrive together. And that's so important. And honestly, I'm an open book. I share everything that I go through, my ups and downs, and I just believe in authenticity. And so there's a lot of women that go back into the competition, and we're so secretive about how we got here and what our successes are. And we don't want to air the dirty failures. And I'm like, but the failures, that's the important.
The failures are, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest component. That's the most important component of all of that success, you know.
Yeah.
I want to share with you, let me see if I can get that quote out here. A quote. Oh, let me see if I can get that. It's a quote by Nikki Haley, ambassador to the United Nations. It was very inspiring. Just recently, I read this. Hang on a minute. And I thought it was just resonated to me, at least, you know. She said, I will always and never stop inspired by the greatness of America. And like you, I will never stop advocating its strong moral leadership in the world. I mean, she said that enough to inspire other women alike. You know, I think that was so empowering to me. I don't know. I mean, you know,
No,
what do you think?
it is. That's beautiful. And I think that that holds true for everybody, because we, when we lead, when we are our true authentic selves, we become that leader, and we're almost drawn to that because it's so natural, and that's just being in your natural state as well, and that's what we're all trying to achieve. But somehow we hold back because we're afraid to be seen. We want to be seen, but we're afraid to be seen. And so I think that's so important, is that we just want to be inspired by other women.
Yeah, I think so too. Talking about women empowerment, there's also a little thought here that I want to share with you, because this is so true, important. You know, it is so true statement. There's got to be systematic change that ensure change across the board base. I'm talking about, like you said, I mean, there's a lot of women still fearful. We're still struggling to find that propel model, obviously. I mean, you would agree with me in this because you just stated it. You know, women needs to be understood. Women need to be heard. Women, you know, we see the world today, the world see us as agents of change, you know, around the world globally continue to make this, you know, changes toward equality. But yet there are also portions of women out there like that they don't, you know, they can find ways, how can I be understood? How can I be, they're just running in circle. So we want to be also understood and heard, and then want to be connected to other women. And this is one of the ways that we platform forum that we want to make available. Obviously, we need to accept the fact that, you know, who we are first, like you said, self-awareness, right?
Yeah.
That we are fully self-aware of ourselves, let's say, and then we are, you know, in a lateral sense, I should say. And I think we said it already. We are the architects of our own lives. You know, we are the author, the writer of our own story. We must take control of this, our own priorities, daily habits, thoughts, actions. You know,
Yeah.
all of this will lead and feed to your success and joys. I mean, you know, you gotta take control of that because it's you, it's yours. You are the author of the book you write.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Rachel.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, what are the last words that you can say? I know we're running out of time. I keep looking at the clock. Like, oh my gosh. Hopefully we can. Yeah, you know, when we're having fun, way too much fun, it's like time flies, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Come
Yeah.
back.
I feel like we
Yeah,
could
we
chat
should
for
have.
hours on this. But
We should have. Go
I
ahead.
just think overall, I mean, when we recognize that we have the power, if we had the power to choose a life that wasn't serving us and we didn't like it, and, you know, filled with negative and, you know, just all the bad
Change
stuff
it.
we didn't like, we
Yeah.
also have the power to create our own story. So we have the power to shift the dynamics of how we treat and love ourselves, how we treat and love each other, how we treat and the words that we choose to speak. So everything is a
Yes.
choice. And that choice comes from you. So no longer is somebody else to blame for your situation, because you're the one either accepting it or changing it. So you have the power to create your own story.
It's very true. Wish you the best on your upcoming book. I know we're running out of time. Tell us how to reach you when your book is coming soon. I know it's coming soon. I mean, you're not supposed to say it. It's coming soon. If you have book events maybe lined up already that we should know of, and then, you know, how to reach you online, social media, and everything like that. Go ahead.
So you can reach me online,
Okay.
social media. All of my handles are I am Rachel Brooks, and my website is IamRachelBrooks.com. And so going into 2019, we will be pitching the book, my fitness memoir, to publishing companies, as well as some other avenues that we're looking into. And I mean, 2019 is going to be super exciting moving forward. And it's just, like you said, having a podcast as a platform, I have a book as a platform. Most of my social media is done on Instagram, so that's my platform as well. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to 2019 to grow, to inspire, to encourage, and empower other women to embrace becoming their best selves. And this is just creating the life that they want. So yes, well, thank you. Thank you for having me. This has been awesome. And I'm just super excited for the launch coming in 19.
The relaunching of We Talk. See you next time on We Talk, Women Empowerment, with our goal to bring women together collaboratively, letting our voices heard in myriads of issues and challenges that we all are facing every day today, business, professionally, home, personally, everything like that. Until then, this is NickyDare, your host. It's been a pleasure with a guest speaker. I wish you the best of luck. I wish you all the continued success, Rachel Brooks. Thank you so much. Stay safe, and collaboration, not competition. God bless. Thank you for watching. Until next time. All right.